Hello everybody, welcome to SadCAST Review. In this week's show, we're going to take a look at Kin Dza Dza. Kin Dza Dza is probably the most famous science fiction film that nobody's ever heard about. It's a post-apocalyptic, dark, anti-utopian sci-fi comedy, brilliantly conceived and excellently produced. This is the story of two humans, Uncle Vova, who is a building site foreman in Russia, and Skripach, or Fiddler, who is a textile student, who through a twist of fate find themselves pressing a button on a gizmo and being transported to a different galaxy, the galaxy Kin Dza Dza, in particular the planet called Puke. Worse still, the planet, a desert planet, where all the inhabitants look like humans, finds that the language on that planet is limited to maybe 5 or 6 words. Why? Because they can read your mind. In this opening clip, I want you to try and imagine you're in their position. You stood in Moscow, or in any big city. Some stranger comes up to you and says, "Can you tell me how to get home? I just need to press this button." And if you're feeling a bit sort of impatient, you might turn around and say, "Oh, just press it," which is what they did. So suddenly you find yourself from the main street into a desert. You suspect that you're on another planet, but you really don't want to think about it. And hang on a minute, what's that?
Человек. Ку!
Здравствуйте. Как страна? Иностранным владеешь?
Английским, французским слабо.
Скажи им, что денег нет. Ну скажи им, платить же надо.
Gentlemen, sorry, we haven't money. Now!
That clip cracks me up every time I see it. Not only do our two heroes, having been transported to a different galaxy, find themselves in front of two oddball, entertaining characters, because that's what they were doing. They were actually doing a little song and dance in front of a 30-foot flying bucket, but also that the Plukians are, although they look human, are really very different. They are completely void of all goodness, no compassion, love, friendship. They don't want to help these guys at all. They want to rip them off. In fact, most of the Plukians that they meet on the planet, they either want to run away from or they want to punch the lights out. It's a pretty scary situation. But they do have some talent. Fiddler does have a fiddle. He doesn't play it very well. He's just transporting it for somebody. But they have a fiddle. And also they have an old Russian vaudeville song. And in that way, they can bolster the show of these two entertainers and hopefully get them to transport them around a bit. Check this out.
Раз, два, три.
Мама, мама, что я буду делать? Ку! Мама, мама, как я буду жить? У меня нет теплого подушки, у меня нет теплого белья.
тебя нет.
Мама, мама, что я буду делать? Мама, мама, как я буду жить?
Дядя Вова, давай еще.
Our heroes, plausibly played by Stanislav Lyubchin and Levan Gebriadze, are faced with finding a way back to Earth using their humour, which on Pluk is non-existent, their musical ability, which is almost non-existent, and a box of matches, which is one of the most valuable commodities in the Kin Dza Dza galaxy. If I was to say this story was a bit out of the box, it would be an understatement. It's not only a ripping yarn, it's well produced, very well acted, and arguably the first retro science fiction film ever made. It's also disturbing in its imagery. The Plukins, as I've said before, have no goodness. They're not bad, they're just not good. But I've never seen this portrayed so well, so exactly in any film. There are always little exceptions. There are always, oh, well, he's all right, really. Not so in this film. They are absolutely archetypal. And that, although it's very disturbing, is also quite comedic. You'll see technology that is totally implausible except on Pluk, where they destroyed water to make matches, which also destroyed the economy and people's lives. Now a bunch of deviant elite with purple and yellow pants and corrupt policemen with flashing lights on their head run the planet. Badly. It seems almost impossible to our heroes to get away, but they do manage to get to a different planet, one of which is so different it's almost scary. Unfortunately, for the two Plukian comrades, native Plukians are turned into cactuses on this planet. So after a long and convoluted escape, they can either leave their friends in plant pots and get a free ticket home, or return to the planet Pluk.
Людей кактусы делаете?
Только из плюкан.
Но наши не блюгане, наши хануидяне.
Это не важно. Будьте любезны, наденьте дыхательные аппараты.
Зачем? У вас хороший воздух.
Именно поэтому.
На нее посмотри.
Спокойно, одень. Где диван? От имени планеты прошу. Отпустите их, пожалуйста. А кто может решить этот вопрос?
Абрадокс. Но...
Ну так веди к нему.
Веди, а то сейчас я маску сниму и надышу вам тут.
Вы напрасно беспокоитесь. В наших оранжереях прекрасные условия. Цветение, микроклимат, покой. Можно только позавидовать.
Тогда почему, родная, ты тут по травке бегаешь, а не там в горшочке сидишь?
Будьте любезны, смотрите под ноги. Вы уже на 3-й росток наступили.
Друг, у нас к вам большая просьба.
Можете не продолжать. Нет. Соседство с галактикой Кин Дza Dza – наша беда. Они снедаемы страстями.
Порочными.
А продолжение жизни в виде растения для них благо.
И для всех.
Может, мы их вызовем и спросим? Пусть они сами скажут, что для них благо, а что нет.
Ну, если бы мы им предоставили возможность что-либо решать, то...
Девочка, вы тут самые умные? Это вам кто-нибудь сказал? Или вы сами решили?
Не будем терять время попусту. Вы существа с антитентурой, и поэтому я обязан переместить вас в исходную точку отправления или вернуть вас во времени.
Kin Dza Dza was released to the Russian public in 1986, and like so many films which were way ahead of their time, it was slated and terribly critically reviewed. It seemed that the only people who liked it were school children and some famous Russian scientists. So Moscow Film, the producers, took the film off the cinema circuit and a couple of years later released it as a television series, where it gradually became a cult viewing. For some strange reason, this film has never been shown in the West, or if it has, it's on some weird-ass network somewhere that nobody ever watches. It's not available on DVD with English subtitles, so what we did was we subtitled it for you and released it on Google Video. It'll be there until we're asked to take it down, but we do so on the understanding that you'll buy the DVD, get hold of the subtitles from the internet and re-encode it yourself. This film is that good. If we're going to go to that much trouble, it's because it's such a good film. This is a cult science fiction classic film in every respect, and though it won't please everybody, I thoroughly recommend it for your viewing pleasure. That's all. See you next time. Bye-bye.